Hi guys, welcome to Mind Mastery School. I hope the technology is going to work this time. I've tried it several times, but it seemed to be some troubles with the whole video. I would like to try a new concept, something new, to help people start thinking differently. So I decided to call this series I Think series, and it's meant to give you some ideas, some thoughts I had on my own experiences with improving myself and living a healthier life. And hopefully them thoughts and ideas will help you in some way. And today I want to focus on the idea how to achieve any goals. When you look at the research, 80% of the people that start with a New Year's resolution give up within the first 3 months. So we have at the beginning of March, so I assume everybody who decided to do something differently this year has stopped doing it, more or less. And today I would like to talk about a few things that I discovered that make the difference between wanting to achieve something and then stopping along the way, or actually achieving it. And the three things I want to talk about are motivation, challenges, and action. With the idea of motivation, the most important thing is the feeling. And what I find with other people who want something in particular, they seem to be disconnected from the emotion. And in a strange way, they're willing to lie to themselves. So they really say that they really, really want it, and yet they don't feel the feeling. And that is a telltale sign that something is not right. Something is not aligned within you. So you haven't considered something, or you need to find something else to include that will allow you to feel that feeling more. So if you think of stopping to smoke or losing weight or overcoming something in your life and you don't really feel it, then something's missing. You will not do it because our brain uses emotion as a priority mechanism. So whatever is important to us will be done first. And usually we feel that when a deadline is coming up, so some work needs to be done, and that's when it is being done. And I see that some people are watching this. Thank you for the likes. The second point around motivation is not only the feeling, but also the intensity of it. And here's an interesting and important paradox that I've come across in my own experience. If you feel a high intensity, if you feel very excited about something, if you feel very motivated towards something, you will actually start doing it. But the problem is you run the risk of being burnt out. It seems like you need to have a high amount of excitement, of energy to start something. However, you cannot maintain that high intensity along the way. So in a strange way, the higher your motivation at the beginning, the quicker you will run out of steam. It's like pushing a car on a slight gradient downhill. You need more energy to get it started, but then you need to keep pushing a smaller amount to keep it going. But what we tend to do, we just start sprinting with the car at the beginning as long as we can, and then we stop eventually because it's too intense for us. And you can see that I have one viewer. Hey, I hope you enjoy it. So that's the idea around the motivation. First of all, you need to feel it. And second of all, you need to make sure that at the beginning there is enough for you to start, but then also it becomes a sustaining amount, a reduced amount of intensity to keep you going. The second point is the challenges. With everything that we do, there will come a point in time where things become more difficult. There will come a point in time where it will be a bit risky. And there are several different approaches how to face challenges. One way is to just push through them. So no matter what, you continue on your path, you keep going and keep going, and that just leads to burnout straight away. And this is typically what happens. We decide to go to the gym. The first few times we feel great about it, but then it becomes more difficult for us. So we just push and force ourselves until the body just says, no, we're not going to do this anymore. And then you stop for good. So it's important to realize when you have challenges, make them in a way that don't drain you, that you don't have to force yourself to do it all the time. You have to find the right balance. The other thing about challenges is then the opposite. If we know that pushing and forcing too much doesn't lead us anywhere, it just ends up being burnt out, it's important to look at, let's not have any challenges at all. Let's avoid the challenges at all and just do the task and not challenge us in any way. And that problem goes into not progressing. We need to challenge ourselves in some way to progress. But it's important to challenge us in a way that we can succeed at it, rather than in a way that we fail at it. So with the challenges, it's also important to find the right balance between pushing too much and not challenging at all. So that's the two things around that. And then the most important aspect about achieving any goal is the action. Because there's no matter how much we sit and feel or create something and challenge ourselves, but we need to do something about it. We need to actually start physically doing whatever it is we want to do. If we want to lose weight, we need to start eating less. If we want to go to the gym, we need to start exercising, going to the gym. But within that, there's a few different aspects I would want to point out. One of which is the idea of your future self. So typically we see ourselves being as that person who has succeeded at it, who's focused, who has either lost the weight or who's going to the gym, who's enjoying it. And that's brilliant to have as a goal. But I'd like to invite you to look at that future ideal self in a slightly different way, because it blew my mind the moment I started looking at it this way. I'd like you to think of that person, that you who has achieved all of that, not as you who became that person, but as you who became efficient at being like that. So that end goal that you see, that the moment when you think, this is me becoming more focused, this is me becoming slim, this is me becoming healthy, this is not the point of becoming, this is the point of becoming good at it. This is the point of becoming efficient at it. At that point, it's suddenly easy for you to do them things. And when you look at it in this way, it means that right now is the time to practice to eventually become efficient at it. So if you want to be efficient, if you want to be skilled at exercising, you need to start practicing. You need to start making the mistakes at the beginning and get them out of your system, so that you develop a way of being efficient at exercising, of being skilled at exercising. And then suddenly it's easy, it's fun, there's no effort. But the important thing is, you need to start doing it now, you need to start practicing it now in order to become good at it. And when you're good at it, this is where people want to be. This is the actual goal in the future. And the other thing about action, I kind of implied it in a way, but I like to look at it on a very specific point of view. When I do any task, I always contrast myself not against my best self, not against the best possible way of doing that task, but against my worst self. And my aim is always to be 0.1% better than my worst. So for example, my aim is to do 10 push-ups before I go to bed. Yesterday, I didn't feel like doing 10 push-ups, so the lazy version would have done 0 and would have gone to bed. What did I do? I managed to do 2. So for me, at least I was better than the lazy one, than the worst version of myself. And even though I haven't been as good as the best possible me, I've still done something that moves me towards that goal. And this is the idea of doing action. Move it down to a small size, to a small step that is easy for you to succeed in, and then just do it often and frequent, and eventually you'll become efficient at it. And when you're efficient and skilled at it, then you are the person who you want to be. So that's the 3 things I wanted to talk about. The idea of motivation, where you need to feel the emotion first. The idea of challenges, where you need to find the right balance between not pushing too much, but also challenging yourself enough to continue to grow and to progress. And the third point is the idea of action, of realizing it's not about you becoming someone in the future, it's about you becoming somebody now who becomes really good at it in the future. But that means you need to start practicing it. Okay? So this is what I wanted to talk about in today's I Think series. Just the things that inspired me and changed my point of view how to achieve any goals. And I hope some of it was useful for you guys. I can see 6 people are watching. I can't believe it. Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And Please like this video if there was anything useful for you, whether it's about the motivation, whether it's about the challenges or about the action. And I would really appreciate it if you could leave in the comment what specifically was useful to you guys. Was it the idea of that if you don't have the feeling, then it's not important to you, then you're not motivated about it? Or was it about the challenges of not to challenging yourself too intense, not to push too much? Or was it about the action of realizing you need to start doing something now and practice becoming good at it? I don't know, but I would really appreciate your views, your comments, your ideas, what you actually were taking out of this video, what was important and useful to you guys. And for the next video, I would like you guys to decide what to talk about. I have 3 topics in mind, and the most comments or the topic that most people want to see, I will do the next video on. The first one was the idea of fears. So if somebody has a fear of heights or a fear of flying or a fear of dogs or anything like that, I would like to talk about the mechanisms and how to help you overcome it on your own. So if you're interested in that, please let me know in the comment box. The other thing is about smoking and how to stop smoking, how to become a non-smoker. So I think that could be quite interesting for you guys, especially if you're smoking, to see how can you cope with the withdrawals and the other difficult challenges. And the third one, which I would prefer to talk about the most at the moment, because that's my main focus, is about weight loss. So where are the challenges, where are the tricks and cheats along the way to keep your weight down and to have a life you want to live? So these are the 3 things: the fear, stop smoking, and weight loss. Please let me know in the comments which one you would like to see next. And I greatly appreciate your time here. Thank you very much for watching, especially the ones that are there. Hello. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great evening and stay motivated. Bye-bye.